What's up, action takers, the community of doers? I hope you're doing fine. Episode 38, week 38, 52 weeks. Here we come. Now, interestingly, I have a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, apparently, very, very close friend of mine. And I tend to term him as quite controversial, but we really get along. And it's this kind of a friend who you are aligned in terms of the way you think, but at the same time you look at the world, or the way you look at the world is from two different perspectives, but those perspectives tend to converge at a certain point. But on the greater end, we just tend to find ourselves in a situation where we look at the world from two different perspectives. So he's a numbers guy, and I would consider myself as more social, and I think that's why we find ourselves looking at things from different perspectives. So I'm the kind of guy who can be delusional. I'm the kind of guy who would shoot for the moon and just have the most unimaginable kind of goals. But he's the kind of guy who is going to go back to logic and tends to look at statistics and patterns and so forth and so forth. And I think to a larger extent, I think that's what makes us look at the world in two different perspectives. Or when we are presented with situations, I'm going to tend to look at the good side of the situation. He's going to tend to look at the patterns, and whatever the pattern provides statistically, he always says numbers never lie, which is true. And I appreciate that. But due to my very, very intense drive and commitment to try and understand people and human behavior, why people do what they do, how can people be better, how can people grow from one step to another, how can we try to pursue things that are worth doing, but the odds are against our favor. By my commitment in that, sometimes it makes me be blind of the numbers or the patterns, for me to try and seek that possibility. I strongly believe that there exists possibility beyond our human understanding. And at a subconscious level, if you believe it enough, nature responds to people who refuse to be denied. And I understand that there are limits, and I understand that there are external factors that affect our outcome. But I think to a larger extent, it's so important for you not to underscore the power of possibility. As much as you're looking at the patterns and what you're doing and trying to be realistic, on a gut level, you have to leave a place for, I'm in this world of endless possibility, and anything can happen. Never get to a point where you lose that. As much as things might not be working the way you want them to work, I think it's good to believe that, today you can just wake up and something that you didn't expect can happen. It's good to have that, because if you don't have that, its possibility of happening, it's almost negligible. But just knowing, regardless of what is happening in my life, something can happen. It's good to have that. It's an element of hope that is so important, that allows you to keep going even at the midst of challenges. Now, sorry, I've really talked about this whole issue about him, but I wanted to create a bit of context to bring me to the conversation that I want us to have for this 38th episode. Now, we were just having conversation on a weekend. He came to my place, we are sitting, we're just chilling and and we find ourselves going wild and deep in our conversation, which I really appreciate. Is that one friend that you say, a conversation with the right person surpasses 100 years of study, because you get real time. Let me not digress. The conversation was just nice. That's all I'm trying to say. And we were having a conversation around how much of what we do contributes to our outcome. So for me, I was really big on the fact that you have to put in the work, you have to, put in the effort, you have the long hours and just going into so big on the effort. On the contrary, now he jumped ship in this case. On the contrary, for him, he was like, the world owes you nothing. You don't deserve even what you have right now. So you should view everything that you have as a privilege that has been handed to you. I really need to organize this so that you can understand what, he was trying to say in this case. Now, then he went ahead to explain the fact that you put in the effort, but when it happens, there are so many elements of nature aligning, or the stars must align in a certain way for you to find yourself in the current position that you're in. It can't just be that your effort translated to where you are. Of course, effort counts. It allows you to prepare. But on a larger extent, the stars must align in a certain way for you to end up to where you're going to end up. In that, you can't possibly sit here and say that where you are right now has been contributed by the actions that you've been putting. Because I bet 100% there is somebody who is doing more than you're doing, but probably you are ahead of them. How do you explain that? Or you're doing so much, but there is somebody who is seemingly doing less than you in the same industry. You probably, not even probably, you are actually doing more than them. You're even probably better than them, but they're in a better position compared to you. How do you explain that? And that's what is taking us back to the stars must align in a certain way for you to find yourself. It can't just be your efforts. So appreciating that is so important. So it doesn't mean that you go low on your efforts. You have to give it your best. But the understanding of the stars must align in a certain way, or nature, things have to play out in a certain way, or the appreciation of the fact that external factors influences your outcome, it allows you to remain humble and understanding that as much as I have what I have, this is not all my doing. This is not all my doing. You are able to remain humble and know that it's not like I am entitled to it because of the efforts that I've put. It's just that nature has aligned the stars in a way that the effort I was putting were able to meet the right opportunities, the right people, the right circumstances, the right environment for me to be able to actually get the outcome that I have, be it good or bad. So it is two ways. If it happens good, then you appreciate and you remain humble. You don't, at any given point, don't justify that your efforts actually are the one which allowed you to be where you are. It allows you to remain humble and understand that nature played its role. On the contrary, if things happened that you didn't expect, negative, setbacks, challenges, it's not all your fault. Of course, you have to take responsibility, but at the same time, don't beat yourself down. Understand that you can do everything within your capacity to make things go well, and still they're going to go bad. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because that's life. So having that understanding is going to allow you not to beat yourself down. It's going to allow you not to look down on yourself. It's going to allow you not to become frustrated or think that you are incompetent. It's just that you can do everything within your capacity to make things turn out in a better way. You can give all your efforts. You can be able to do your homework and Don't have lazy days and show up and show up and show up and things still don't go your way. And that happens, and that's life. So I think having that understanding is so critical so that you can understand really how to operate your life. When something bad happens, might be my fault, might not be my fault, but I'm going to take responsibility. When something good happens, it's not like I'm entitled to it. It's not like I deserve it so much. Life is an experience. Life is an experience. When you get a positive, just experience it. When you get a negative, just experience it. Just wait it out. When something bad is happening to you, this too shall pass. When something positive is happening to you, this too shall pass. Enjoy the moment, experience the moment, and learn from the moment. So I hope next time you appreciate when things are happening to you. And the takeaway of this, what I really want you to take away from this is the fact that, leave alone even the negative side. Because let me restrict myself to this. That's so important. Take responsibility. But my biggest takeaway for this, and the reason I'm even sharing this with you, is the fact that don't think because you've put in effort that you're entitled to the results. The stars must align in a certain way. Universe, some causes of action, things beyond your control, plays out in a certain way that makes you win. So don't feel entitled, and that allows you to have humility. So when things are going on well for you, please remember to be humble, because you're not entitled. Wow. Very little of your effort really contributes to your outcome. There are other external factors that are beyond your control that actually influences the kind of outcome that you get with what you do. See you on the next one.